as it can. I was concerned. It did not. Yay. Good morning, Facebook. How are you today? We are just getting some coffee in us. Good morning, Aunt Audrey. Rumor has it we're gonna get some of that sunshine up here tomorrow. I can't wait. Somehow in my mind it's coming from Florida. I don't know. I know that's not how this works, right?
Have I ever shown you the sunshine my parents send us when they go to Florida?
No.
So there's a place down in Florida that will paint a coconut and then mail it, and they paint a sun on it, and it's sunshine. So it's a actual coconut pod, like with a coconut inside of it, mailed. We got 3 or 4 of them on the shop counter.
That's so cute.
It's not cute when you get them in the middle of February. It's really not.
Why not?
Because we're sitting here in like negative 16 degrees with like 8 feet of snow, and here comes a sunshine painted coconut from my parents on the beach while I'm at work.
Okay.
I mean, it's beautiful to look at any other time. We're in the middle of winter. It's rough.
Ooh, yes. Any kind of warm beverage, Amy. Good morning, Tiffany. Yeah, we're definitely the coffee drinkers, but you know that. And we're even drinking Costa Rican coffee this morning, Amy. So, a little bit of memories being associated with the coffee this morning. Life is tough.
That should be a shirt. Life is tough. Drink coffee.
Oh, life is good. Life is good. Oh, it's nice to see you too, Tiffany. Thank you for popping in and saying hello, and have a great private session. Love you. I think we'll wait maybe another 60 seconds or so. Oh, good morning, Brandy. Thank you for saying hi. We just love when you pop in and say hi, even if it's just for a moment, like Tiffany above popped in. And so if you're joining us, please do say hi. We can't see it on our end as to who's here. We just see a number as to who's joining. So I absolutely love seeing you. And of course, if you have any requests this morning, I would love to incorporate those into our practice too. I'm really drawn today to some wrist and hand and neck and shoulder movement. So I'm thinking that we may start with some of that in our morning mindful practice. But if you have things you'd like to add. Take another few moments, sip on a warm beverage if you happen to have one, and then we'll get started. Amy says she's glad to see Joel so perky this morning.
It's always the backwards syndrome with me. I get a lot less sleep. I'm awake in the morning. And just...
He was playing Dungeons and Dragons fairly late last night with some friends, so. All right. your way to our mats. That's what you need? Yay, good. That's just the feeling I had. I try and spend, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so before this class actually begins to kind of feel into what we need. And usually in person, I do this by directly asking. And while I ask virtually in this way, it's not quite the same because I can't see you. And sometimes there's a lot that's said without even you vocalizing it, you know, just the way you're holding yourself and other nonverbal communication. So it lets me have some more clues as to what's going on. So I will always ask, and if for some reason I don't ask sometime in here, please go ahead, and if there's something you're looking for, just share it. I love creating practices around what our needs are, but today I woke up, and I have for a few days with this really achy upper neck, and I know I'm missing my massages, and I'm missing my chiropractor, so I know a couple of those things are starting to affect me a little bit physically, the things that I usually do for myself each month. So why not utilize yoga to support? And not to replace, just simply to support in this time. So let's find a comfortable way to sit today, whatever that means for you. And it could be in a chair or on the floor. Your legs could be crossed or extended out in front of you. Any way that's comfortable for the legs. I have a blanket under my hips just to give me a little bit of a boost to get my hips just a little bit higher than my knees in this crisscross position. And what this does is it just allows a little bit of release, or sometimes we like to call it openness. This doesn't really necessarily mean what it sounds like in the hips. So it allows us to feel a little more supported in a crisscross position. So if you have something that can give you a little boost, even if you have a mat and you roll it up and sit on that, it can give you that little extra oomph, so to say. And then let's take a couple of moments to kind of move around freely, maybe rocking or circling, and just kind of notice how it feels. You can close your eyes here if you want to really feel into your physical body. See what you notice, and maybe some aches, some tenderness, and then also notice the areas that feel soft, that feel fluid, even if it's just the tip of your index finger. And then find a place of stillness. And if you can, let the spine be really long and tall up over those sits bones. And let the top of your head reach up so that your chin is level with the earth. And find a place to let your arms rest. Maybe on your lap, palms up or down, or even stacking the hands in your lap. Breathing in, breathing out, beginning to follow that breath. And today, to contemplate, begin first by checking in with your own mood. How are you right now? And see what comes up, maybe even letting it surprise you. And we don't have to judge whatever is here, and whatever is here is absolutely okay. It doesn't have to be positive. It can be whatever it is. We're giving time and space to our own experiences. That's important, equally important. And then, no matter what's there, invite yourself back to noticing your breath, the inhales and exhales. And then can you think of something you're grateful for? Anything at all. One thing that you are grateful for today. And notice how it feels to think about the thing you're grateful for. Is there a little spark? A little glimmer? Hope? Maybe it's something else. A little spark of happiness. And then maybe think of a second thing you're grateful for. And notice your mood again. And it's okay if it hasn't shifted. Be with whatever is there. I'm just inviting in a little gratitude. And seeing if it has any effects on us this morning. Just to notice. To be aware. And let's do one more something that we're grateful for. Live music. And notice any physical responses to that. Any mental, emotional responses to that third gratitude. It's okay if it was the same as the one I shared. Now take a big inhale through the nose and fill up your lungs as much as you can. Pause at the top of that breath. Know that tension, and then open mouth, blow it all out. And when you're ready, inhale, fill up again. Pause at the top, feel that tension, and open mouth, blow it out. One more time as you're ready. Inhale, fill up. Open mouth, blow it out. Now come back to your natural breath in and out. All we need is one breath at a time. And let's land back here in this space. If you had your eyes closed, maybe gently blinking the eyes open. Hello. And welcome, welcome. I'm Paige with Joel Choate in the background, bringing you some live music with our practice this morning. Let's bring our hands down to our kneecaps, or just the lower legs, and start to gently circle the torso. Breathing softly and smoothly. Maybe exhaling as you move forward, bringing the ribs a little closer toward the legs, and then inhale when you sweep open and back to the side. And you can make this movement any size you want. You can stay very neutral at the center, or you can really fold forward. You can let your head gently sway, or you can hold your head in a neutral position. At some point here, reverse directions of your circles. And see where you notice this movement. For instance, I really feel it along the side of my ribs today. And it's a slight ache, but the good kind of ache. Like, I'm just waking the sleepiness in my muscles and bones. Let's come back to center. And if you've been sitting the same way for a while, readjust, change. So if you were crisscross, maybe just crisscross the other way, or send your legs long for a moment, whatever it might be. And then let's bring a little focus to our hands and arms, and start with the right arm, extending it straight out in front of you, the thumbs up. And then take the left hand and just wrap it around that forearm. And that left hand is just going to help hold the forearm steady. And slowly begin to circle just that right wrist. So you might notice that if you remove the left hand, your forearm, maybe even upper arm want to get involved in the movement, but we're trying to, in this moment, just isolate into the wrist. So if you bring that left hand on, it might help support that. And just noticing the movement here, maybe any little clicks, crunches. Circling one way, and then the other. And we're breathing here still, softer, smoother. A little bit longer. Good. And that same arm, take it across your body, and the left hand's going to come onto the wrist and slightly onto the top of that thumb. Then the elbows, draw them in opposite directions, and think about squeezing your shoulder blades back towards one another. Notice if your shoulders elevated, and see if it might feel good to let them sink back down. And then soften the right fingers. See if you were holding a lot of tension there. Give them a little wiggle. And you might gently rock that right hand from thumb to pinky. So rocking it up and then down. Keep drawing the elbows in opposite directions, creating just a little bit of space in the wrist, all the little connections in there, the carpal tunnel. Good. Let's release that and let both hands float down to the lap, and see if you notice any differences, any subtleties between the right and the left wrist. You might feel sensation. Can you describe it? Or maybe it's simply a felt sense. Now we'll switch sides. So extending the left hand straight in front of you, thumb up. And the right hand can come to hold on to that left arm. And slowly start to circle that left wrist. And probably almost immediately noticing the similarities or differences between the left wrist and the right wrist, and see if you can take this slowly, to really feel into the movement today. Really inviting in that mindfulness. What does that mean to you? Maybe it means coming back to your gratitude, or simply being in your breath one at a time. Really feeling the movement and noticing anytime your mind starts wandering away. Reverse directions if you haven't already. Alright, switching, taking the arm across, and the right hand on top, just behind that thumb, and then draw the elbows in opposite directions here. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, wiggle those left fingers, letting the hand be soft here. Keep drawing elbows in opposite directions. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, and then optional, adding that little rock from thumb to pinky. Slowly releasing and floating the hands down once again. Noticing sensation. How does the left wrist feel compared to the right? And from here, gently take your right ear toward your right shoulder. And just notice where you pause here. We don't have to go into the full extent of the movement that we're capable of. Maybe considering about 80% effort in this moment. And then slowly turn the nose a little bit more toward the armpit. So we're still working on that ear tipping toward the right, but now we're just adding the nose turning slightly. So it might move the stretch just slightly in the neck. And then turning back to having the nose pointing straight ahead. And then slowly adjusting back, nose slightly more toward the armpit. You might notice if you're leaning toward the right, can you bring yourself upright on your sit bones? And sometimes that just happens as we start to relax a little bit more. Now, let's turn the nose toward that armpit one more time, and then as if we were going to draw a line with our chin to the center of our chest. Go ahead and do that. And notice how this feels. And bring your hands to your kneecaps and slowly scoop your belly back, leaning way back on your tailbone. Chin is tucked toward the chest. And then slowly rise back up, stacking the vertebra one at a time, and let your chin be the last part to come up to center. Notice how the right and left sides of the neck feel. And then let's move on to the other side. So left ear this time toward that left shoulder. Pausing here. Noticing differences between the right and left side. You can add that gentle pivot, the nose toward that left armpit. You might notice more or less constriction here. Back to center. Back and forth. This time when the nose goes toward that armpit, pause there, still breathing. And with that chin, gently trace an invisible line to the center of the chest, and then just like before, scoop the belly back. Lean back on the tailbone and hold on to your knees or legs. Breathe here. And we'll slowly rise up, one vertebra at a time. Slow, 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 slow. And this time we won't stop at center, but we'll keep going. We'll keep lifting. And as we lift the chin, let the hands slide up the legs toward the hip crease, squeezing the elbows and shoulder blades back. And then go ahead and look up as much as what feels comfortable. Sending the heart forward, leaning forward. And then let's round back down and tuck into ourselves, exhaling all the way in, sliding the hands to cup the knees, rounding back. Feel the shoulder blades sliding as far apart from one another, as far away from the spine as possible. And when you're ready, rising again. So following your breath back and forth, and this can be as slow as you like, lifting and tucking in. Hi Autumn, we're glad to have you here too. Inhales to rise up. Exhales to curl back up. You're all going to meet back at center. Take your time getting there and pause for a moment. See how things feel. And maybe we're feeling a little distracted by the legs or hips in this moment. So I think it's time to unfold. Lean back on the hands and bring the legs in front of us with the feet planted on the mat and take them as wide as the mat. Your toes can spill off the edges and lean way back on the hands and see if you can, instead of collapsing in, lift your heart up. And then gently start to sway the knees side to side. It doesn't need to be far. I'm just swaying. There's no particular breath guiding this in this moment. Just kind of noticing. And then let's slow it down. So we'll pause at center. And when you exhale, letting the knees tip. When you inhale, coming back to center. And here, you can tip as far as what feels good. So if you tip just a little bit, both hips will stay connected. If you want to tip a lot, you'll let that opposite hip peel up off the floor. You maybe even rise up on your fingertips. So it's okay to twist a little extra if you want. You might notice one side peels up more easily than the other. And you may notice that as we continue this movement, you gain a little bit more openness here. We'll call it openness today. A little more range of motion. And then the next time, there's no rush, the next time you tip both knees toward the right, pause there. And remind yourself to send your heart forward and then turn your head toward the left. And breathe softer and smoother. A little bit longer than the natural rhythm. On your next inhale, bring the knees to center. We'll tip to the left, sending the hearts up, and maybe shift the gaze right. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's come back to center. And then coming on up to seated, bring the bottoms of the feet together, letting the knees open out to the sides. The feet can be farther away from your torso, or you can scoot the heels closer toward your sits bones. See which offers you the stretch you're looking for. And if you want, you can fold here. You can let your elbows rest on your legs, or you can massage your feet a little bit. Give them a little love too. You can take that massage up the calves. See what you notice in the muscle of the calves. Really taking the thumb into the center of those calves. And you determine the amount of pressure. If it feels good, you can take a couple fingers into the flesh of the calves. you notice more tension on one side than the other? I'm definitely finding a lot more on the right in this moment. And let's rise on up, and again find a comfortable way to sit. You can repeat something from before or change it up. You could stay in that bound angle. Bring your fingertips now to your shoulders. And you can do this one at a time or both. It's up to you. Start to circle the elbows. So drawing some circles with your elbows. You can let this grow, swinging the elbows way forward, and then as if you were going to reach them behind you and tap them. Inhales as the elbows come up. Exhales as they slide down. Notice your shoulder blades moving here. Can you feel them along the back side of your body? What do you notice in the shoulder girdles? Maybe reverse directions at some point. And letting the shoulders slide on down, releasing the hands. Let's add some side bends and get into the intercostal muscles along the rib cage. So going to the right first. Right hand reaches down toward the mat. There can be a bend in the elbow. The left hand can be on the shoulder here, and you can walk out on those right fingertips. Or you can plant your palm down and tip toward the right, letting that left elbow lift on up. And notice if the left sits bone is lifting up off of the floor. Send it back down. So a little tug of war. The sit bone is reaching toward the earth, and the elbow and shoulder are reaching upward. Optional, reach that left arm up and over. And then here, if you want, as you exhale, making a little cactus arm. Inhales to reach. Exhales, cactus, as if you're going to take your elbow down toward the ribs. Just halfway there. Inhales, reach. Exhales, cactus. Inhales, reach. And cactus one more time. Reaching up. Inhale all the way up. Landing that left hand down. Notice the differences from one side to the other. We'll walk on out on those left fingertips, right fingertips toward the right shoulder, tipping toward the left. The right sit bones are going to glue downward, reaching into the earth as the right shoulder or fingertips reaches up and over, creating that long line. And see what you notice along the right rib cage now, maybe even under that right arm if you've extended it. Breathing in, breathing out. You can add that cactus arm here if you like. Inhales, reaching. Exhale to bend the elbow. As you bend the elbow, maybe think of squeezing the shoulder blade back, so as if you were going to take your elbow back. One more. Reaching. On your next inhale, rising up to center. Hands to the knees in circles. Circles. Inhales back. Exhales forward. Back to center. We're going to make our way now onto our front sides of our body, and if you need or would like a little extra space for the front side of the body for a larger chest, or even just more stomach room for breathing across the ribs, you can have a towel or a blanket nearby, and it's kind of a gentle little roll. So I'll offer this in a little bit. So something like this, just rolled up. It doesn't need to be this long. A towel will do, a blanket. It just might add a little more ease for the breathing. And we'll make our way onto our stomachs. Oh. And once there, come right on into a little Sphinx pose. So the elbows are drawn in under the shoulders here, excuse me. Send the hip bones downward and the tops of the feet press into the earth. And then hug the muscles of your legs against the bones. Feel that contraction. You notice how your kneecaps lift up when you do that. And then root down through your elbows and send your heart forward just a little bit. Maybe even plug in all the fingers as if you're going to drag yourself forward and feel that traction. Where do you feel it? Is it across the front of the ribs? Keep hugging the muscles against the bones. And then slowly let the elbows open wider. The fingertips can come towards one another and lower toward the earth. Inhale, rising up. You can keep your elbows out, or you can slide them in or lift them up and bring them in. We're just going up and down, so adding a little bit of movement. And you can think of rounding up here. So this next time, looking back towards your torso, chin is tucked as you lift up, scooping the stomach back, and then lifting the head and letting the ribs maybe come forward a little more. So we'll exhale, scooping, looking toward the ribs, and slowly lower down. And then we'll scoop back up, inhaling, lifting the heart, and now looking forward. So take that a couple more times. Any kind of lower down and lift up. Whether you choose to scoop inward or keep the gaze forward. Your elbows might lift. They don't have to. And we'll all meet upright again. Take your time. And here's where that towel or rolled up blanket can come in, bringing it in to the upper chest. And then if there's any ends, they can fold down slightly into your armpits. And then slowly lowering the head down to rest on to your hands. You could bend your knees here and sway your feet side to side if you like. Breathing softer, smoother, a little bit longer. Slowly releasing the feet. And then slowly bringing the right knee out open toward the side. Just the right knee. And no higher than up in line with the hip. So where's a spot you can bring it that doesn't crunch up the side of your body? So you might lift it a little higher and you might notice you get your side crunching in. Where's a spot where it's just out to the side and kind of the foot can swing back in toward yourself or can extend open, wherever feels good. And then let your head come down Another option here, of course, is to turn the gaze toward the right. Your hands can stay stacked, or you could send your right arm down by your right hip. So you can play around and see what feels good for you. You can try things that aren't even suggested, so just tuning into your needs. If it doesn't feel good to have the right knee out to the side, leaving the legs long here is also an option. Taking the next several breaths to really breathe in and breathe out, feeling the front side of the body against the earth, one breath at a time. Perhaps be reminded of your intention, the gratitude, and inviting it in to fill your heart. Those things you're grateful for. One breath at a time. Another breath or two exactly as you are. And then slowly slide that right leg long. Maybe shifting from side to side here for a moment, kind of wiggling the hips, rolling across the top of the feet. And we'll take a turn for the left side. So when you're ready, slide that left knee out to the side. And same options. For the gaze to be toward the earth, or turning under the right cheek, looking toward the left. Noticing subtle differences between the right and left sides. Be and breathe. Softer. Smoother breath. A little bit longer now. Another breath here. And then sliding that left leg long. And again, maybe rocking side to side. And then we'll take crocodile pose for each side. So if you have that blanket tucked in under the armpits, you may like it here, and you also might want to move it. So it could be nice to slightly unroll and have a little more cushion under your head. Your arms are going to come down by your hips, palms up, and you'll turn onto a cheek, whichever cheek you are drawn toward. Let the elbows bend so that your shoulders roll forward. Your hands could even tuck in under your upper legs or your hips. If you're wearing glasses, it's a good place to remove them. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly, if you haven't already, turn your head and rest on the opposite cheek. Breathing softer, smoother, a little bit longer, preparing to move, bringing the gaze to center, and bringing the hands up in line with the shoulders, pressing yourself up onto hands and knees, and then sinking back to a child's pose, whether you pick the legs together or taking the knees wide, bringing the toes together and sinking back to your child's pose. The forehead can connect to a blanket or your hands or the mat itself. Breathe here. softer, smoother, a little bit longer now. And as you're ready, considering the most easeful way you can make your way onto your back. And then gently begin that process to make your way. You can have a blanket behind your head here. Take your time. When you get onto your back, bend your knees and plant your feet. Notice all the points where the back side of your body is connected to the earth. Where your feet rest. Your hips and glutes. Your spine. Where it rises and where it connects. Notice where the back of the head rests. Now, root down into the right foot. And as you do you notice how the left feels a bit lighter? And press down into that right foot. And then soften it. And try it again. Press down into the right foot. See if the left feels a little lighter. Soften. And reverse, press into the left. Feel the muscles of the leg engage. And soften. Press again, left side. And release. Now glue the low back against the earth. And then reverse this. Let the low back peel up. Keep the hips glued and lift the ribs up. So create a little arch under the back. Exhales, glue low back down. Inhales, find that little lift. Several more times. Eventually coming back to neutral position. Wherever the arms rest. Can you glue the right arm and shoulder blade? Press it into the earth. And then soften. Press it again. The whole right arm, wherever it rests. The shoulder blade. And then soften. And now the left side. Create that muscular tension. Keep breathing. Release. Press it again. And release. Walk the feet wide on the mat. The toes might spill off and then let the knees tip toward one another. And perhaps bring the hands onto the low torso. Breathing in. And breathing out. Taking a moment now to scan the whole body. And check in, are there any other poses that you would like to invite in Maybe curling up into a ball. Or maybe resting exactly as you are. Anytime you're ready, finding your final resting pose, Savasana, which could be this restorative pose or stretching the legs out long on your mat. Taking the next several moments for any movement or finding that resting pose. Inviting yourself back to your gratitude for simply being and breathing for the next several breaths. There's nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to be doing. Slowly now, begin to invite yourself back to this space, noticing all the points you are connected to the earth, from your feet all the way up to where the back of the head rests. Then invite in subtle movement, whatever that means for you. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes, or bending the knees, or swaying a little side to side in the hips. And take the next 3 breaths wherever you choose to be, whether on your back or curled up on your side. And then very gently make your way up to seated. There is no rush. I'll meet you there. Stack our hands over our heart. In the stillness of the moment, can you feel the rhythm of your heart beating? And be reminded of your gratitude. In this moment, let it fill your heart up. May we know peace, wisdom, and serenity as we fill our hearts with gratitude, with presence and joy. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking this time with us today. It is such an honor for Joel and for myself to share this time with you. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And I have two things this weekend. I am co-leading a class with Bella Rose Yoga's owner, Jess Beatty, on Saturday at 7 o'clock. It's a Booty Nidra class. So it's the BUTI, Booty Yoga, which is a combination of more traditional yoga poses, a little bit of dance movement, and the spiraling technique. So just lots of round and circular movement. And then tribal dance is a focus of it. It's a very upbeat movement class, and then we land into a yoga nidra, and that's the portion that I'll be guiding, is that nidra. So it's open to anyone who wants to join us for that. The info for that is over on Bella Rose's page, and it's through a Zoom call, and just provides the login for that. It's also available for free, or if you can contribute financially. We are profit sharing, I guess is the way to put it over there. So any contributions that come through get divided among all the teachers, whether or not they're teaching the particular class. It's just something we've been electing to do with Bella Rose. And then on Sunday it will be our hour-long Yoga Nidra class. So if you want just a Yoga Nidra, please feel free to join me on Sunday. And that's Yoga Nidra with sound. And that is at, I forget what time. 7:30. 7:30 on Sunday. So 7 o'clock Saturday, 7:30 Sunday. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everyone. You're welcome, Aunt Audrey.